It sucks to be looking for a job right now. Hiring has slowed way down over the last couple of years, with many firms holding on to their current workforces, who are, in turn, holding on to their current positions. It's kind of an employment deep freeze that doesn't leave many open doors for job seekers.
If you or anyone you know has looked for a job recently, you've probably heard the horror stories about having to send out hundreds of applications and wait months just to get an interview if you're lucky. The average time between a posting and an eventual hire is now longer than it's been since just before the pandemic. 1 out of 2 job postings don't result in a hire at all, up from 1 out of 5 in 2018. Some estimates put the number of applicants for one job around 250, giving the average job seeker a measly 0.4% chance of success.
But this bleak landscape seems to be bleakest for Gen Z. Unemployment rates for those 25 and under is significantly higher than older generations, and higher than it's been for that age bracket in almost a decade, not counting the COVID pandemic.
Many recent college grads report sending out hundreds of applications with few responses, or having to take low-wage jobs that don't require a degree, or having to stay with their parents until the situation improves.
So what is it about this generation that makes it so hard for them to land a job? Is it the Gen Z stare?
There are a lot of theories, though some of them are backed up by little more than anecdotes and finger-pointing.
So let's cut through the noise and figure out why no one wants to hire Gen Z.
The most obvious culprit, or at least the one that gets the most hype, is artificial intelligence. In recent months, many CEOs have claimed that big layoffs were due to AI-powered productivity gains, and there are stories about entry-level white-collar jobs being replaced by algorithms. Surely this would explain the difficulty young people are having finding a job.
However, despite some isolated examples, economists have found no real data to support the idea that AI has replaced a significant share of the workforce in any industry. That's not to say it won't someday, or that CEOs aren't hoping for it, but it doesn't explain the job market right now. If you want to know why this theory persists, check out our video on why CEOs might be lying about layoffs.
AI has changed the way people look for jobs, and not necessarily in a good way. LinkedIn reports a 45% increase in applications since 2025, thanks to their AI-powered tools, while employers have their own AI bots to sift through the slop. Some applicants will even hide invisible text instructions in their resumes to try to trick the algorithm into moving it to the top of the pile. And yet, for most applicants and employers, the AI arms race just means a lot more busy work, ghosting, and confusion about what's real and what's not.
Another theory puts the blame on college degrees, specifically the fact that there are too many of them out there. Supposedly, the decades-long push to convince every kid to go to college has backfired on us. Now we've got way more college grads than there are white-collar jobs to sustain them.
Economic data seems to support this theory. The unemployment rate for recent college grads has risen much faster than other groups over the last few years. However, this stat may be misleading because unemployment numbers only count those who are actively looking for work. Economists Adam Ozimek and Nathan Goldschlag found that a large number of young people without a college degree have given up looking for work, meaning their struggle is underreported in graphs like this. When you factor this in, it becomes clear that young people in general are having a tough time finding a job, which suggests that a surplus of college degrees isn't to blame.
So it's the stare, right? I knew it. I got one for my niece the other day. It was chilling.
Believe it or not, that is a leading theory on why employers don't want to hire Gen Z, or rather struggle with workplace etiquette in general.
Surveys have found that a quarter of business managers wouldn't consider hiring a recent college grad, mainly because of a lack of soft skills, including communication, collaboration, and adaptability. 18% of managers report being so stressed by overseeing Gen Z employees that they've considered quitting, and 75% claim that young workers require more time and effort than other employees. 30% would rather leave a position unfilled than give it to a Gen Zer.
These managers seem to view the average Gen Z worker as someone who scrolls through their phone during meetings, expects to come into work in their pajamas, if they come in at all, and will cancel you on TikTok if you so much as look at them wrong. Coddled since birth, raised on screens, and socially deprived by the pandemic, this whole generation is lazy, entitled, and suspicious of authority, and just plain weird. Or so the story goes.
But you don't have to go back too far to hear very similar complaints being lodged at millennials. The so-called look at me generation was described as self-absorbed and entitled, lacking in loyalty and work ethic. It was pretty common around 2010 to hear the media and business leaders fret about their ability to coexist in the workplace.
And we can go back even further. Generation X was called the slacker generation, lazy and listless. Their mascots were the couch-bound buffoons Beavis and Butthead and Wayne and Garth, and their heroes were characters who gave the finger to a soul-sucking corporate career.
What is it, you want me to get a job on the line for the next 20 years until I'm granted leave with my gold-plated watch?
Even the boomers got a similar treatment. Yes, those boomers. On TV, Archie Bunker perpetually clashed with his young son-in-law over his generation's aversion to good, honest work. Films like Easy Rider and 5 Easy Pieces encapsulated the baby boomer dissatisfaction with a button-down office job. And in the seminal boomer coming-of-age film, The Graduate, recent grad Ben Braddock responds to interrogations about his career goals with a pretty good approximation of the Gen Z stare.
Plastics.
Okay, just throwing this out there, maybe, just maybe, being inexperienced and uncertain about the future is a characteristic of young people in general rather than these specific young people.
It's a wild theory, and it's not helped by the fact that businesses have been steadily decreasing the amount of on-the-job training they offer. It's like they expect young people to show up as ideal workers on day one.
Well, if Gen Z isn't much different than previous generations, why are they having more trouble finding work?
To find the answer, you only need to turn on the TV, or look at your phone, or read a newspaper. The answer is all around us. It's uncertainty. The war in Iran is over. Now it's back on. The strait is open. The strait is closed. The tariffs are on. The tariffs are off. 10%, 25%, 100%. We've got civil unrest, attempted insurrections, attempted assassinations. AI is coming for your job. Or maybe it's a bubble.
All of this has created an atmosphere of unprecedented economic uncertainty. We're either on the cusp of the greatest economic miracle of all time or a total financial meltdown. The Economic Policy Uncertainty Index has been higher over the past year than it was at any point in the past that wasn't a full-blown recession.
And here's the thing. Uncertainty hits young workers hardest because they are an investment in the future. Firms won't spend money and time to train new hires if they think the landscape is about to shift dramatically. They're more likely to stick with current employees who are less likely to retire or change jobs because they're uncertain too. The labor market goes into a deep freeze, an inhospitable environment to gain experience, make connections, and learn new skills.
Of course, no economic trend has one single cause.
AI is creating genuine tension amongst employers and employees alike. Some people are starting to rethink the idea that a college degree is a career necessity, and excessive screen time and pandemic shutdowns have stunted social development for some age brackets.
But none of these factors can outweigh the fundamental rule that economies need stability and predictability to grow and prosper. Companies won't invest in the workforce of tomorrow if they don't know what tomorrow will look like. And that's our 2 cents.